Formula One has arrived in the Sunshine State for spectacular sunsets, gentle breezes, warm waters, and for what will be a fantastic race day here at the Miami International Autodrome. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium. But these conditions should prove especially difficult for all of our drivers today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Verstappen, George Russell and Hamilton, Michael Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Perez, they've taken a grid penalty, Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas and Gasly, Joe, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda and Lando Norris. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Vettel, Albon, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Absolutely fantastic. That is a brilliant result. Well done.
They've done it then. A truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
A show-stopping performance from the three drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure. The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Norris, Perez, Martinez, Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Bottas, Esteban Ocon and Magnussen, Gasly, Mick Schumacher, Guan Yu Zhou and Sebastian Vettel, Tsunoda, Stroll, Albon and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Scrap.
Here comes your top three making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's 3.7 miles around a lap of Baku's city circuit, 7 rights and 13 lefts, giving us a total of 20 corners. Watch out for a safety car today. Incidents are already common on this circuit, and the wet conditions will only make things worse, particularly through the incredibly narrow Turn 8. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Martinez lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, George Russell, and Hamilton, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Michael Schumacher, and Daniel Ricciardo, Joe, Gasly, Carlos Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty, and Bottas, Ocon, Tsunoda, Alex Albon, and Kevin Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Now I want to talk to you about Carlos Sainz. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to power unit component changes. It's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Oh, mate, great job. Great job. You've done everything we wanted today. That is brilliant.
A hard-fought win today then, after a very difficult race. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.